And do you feel that there's been a huge improvement through the hyperbaric chamber, through the physio, that they didn't think was going to happen or didn't want to try? Do you think that there's been that much of a vast improvement that now perhaps they'll want to try and help you, or do you think that there'll still be...
No, they will say it's not the physiotherapy part, no, it's the administration. Now, actually, I've got my sister-in-law, and on those days there was no oxygen system or anything like that, in Algeciras, with Alzheimer's for 14 years. She has completely lost her memory. But even today, my niece takes her to the physiotherapy, to the Alzheimer's clinic in Algeciras. My niece can walk with her mother, take her shopping. She takes her with her. If they want to go to the country or go out for a walk, my sister-in-law walks up and down 3 flights of steps, right? Physically, she is normally. She's not available. The only thing, her memory is gone. But all these patients are taken in Spain, or in the Campo Aéreo, as far as I know, they are Alzheimer's clinic where they play music, because music is also very essential for Alzheimer. They give them physiotherapy, they make them walk, they make them do exopasses, they put them to pain. But their mind is always active. And that is helping to slow down the illness. Here in Gibraltar, there's nothing. I used to take my wife to the mental clinic once every 3 months. They used to make her a test to answer a certain question, and I would be told later, look, she has degraded a bit more, we're going to increase the tablets which we are giving her to slow down the illness. Why shall I bring her back? 3 months' time. And for 3 months' time, my wife was at home without any sort of physiotherapy or mental or anything at all.
And now she's kept in Victoria Ward. She's kept in Victoria Ward now.
She's in Victoria Ward, and now just sitting there on a chair for 3.5 years.
And can you tell us about how hard it was to get her to stay in Victoria Ward in terms of getting the permission?
Yeah, well, no, I asked permission, and I was told that it wouldn't work. But I said that if I had correspondence, and I told them I had correspondence from other doctors, or either they would have to denounce these doctors for giving false information or false hope, or perhaps these doctors knew what they were saying. So eventually I was given permission to take my wife to the treatment, which now they are administering to her.
And is there any observation going on in the hospital for your wife or anything like that?
The only thing they do in hospital is, and I need to say, we've got a wonderful nursing staff, because the nursing staff, they go out of their way. They are fabulous, right? It's the administration that they are not up to date when it comes to Alzheimer's patients. The only thing the nurses do in hospital is give her a medicine. If I'm not available, they will feed her and wash her, or hygiene, give her a bath or whatever it is. That's all. And now, also another thing is that my wife before couldn't move her hand. Now my wife eats on her own. I give her the food and she picks up the spoon or whatever it is, and she starts eating. So I think my wife, with this treatment, my wife has made a slight improvement.
And the hyperbaric chamber has made that a reality, no?
And I would advise the hospital, I even requested the director of the hospital, Dr. McCasson, to visit my wife and see in the condition she was, but he has never come to see her.
So I think we can round off on the positive note that your wife has improved, and that she's continuing.
As far as I'm concerned, I've been there seeing her on a daily basis for 3.5 years, and my wife, I would say, with the oxygen treatment and the physiotherapy, my wife has improved. And I also had read an article where it said that with the oxygen treatment, there have been many cases where, since most of the illness of dementia and Alzheimer is due to a lack of oxygen in the body, by receiving this extra oxygen, in many cases, although there is no cure for Alzheimer, this treatment has stopped the developing of the Alzheimer to carry on. So that means to say, a patient has stayed stable there. And in many other patients, due to the extra oxygen in the body and on the brain, some of those brain cells which were dormant have been reactivated, and you can see that mentally it recovers to a certain degree. Now, I don't know why the hospital doesn't want to supply or apply this treatment to this patient.
And you took your wife to the fair once, didn't you? And she showed. You took your wife to the fair once.
Yeah,
and she.
My wife is, I mean to say, mentally she has improved. Sometimes, she's an Alzheimer patient, but nowadays, on many occasions, she speaks lucid. And she understands what you tell her, and she doesn't. Before, she wouldn't say she was a vegetable. She wouldn't understand, she wouldn't recognize, and today, even if she wants bread, she asks for bread, or she wants a toast, she asks me for a toast, right? I've taken her to the fair, and she even started one of the songs which they were singing at the fair. She even started singing that song. And she looked at herself at the mirror the other day, and she says, "That's me?" I said, "Yes." She said, how? I have changed a lot, eh? I mean to say, something must be functioning on her brain. There may be in the spur of the moment, but all those are signs of improvement.
So then you recommend that the hyperbaric chamber?
I recommend that, yes, I do. I do because it's working on my wife.
Right, you've said that you're having to pay all these costs to use the hyperbaric chamber yourself, and you've asked them, the government, to help you along with this. Can you tell us a bit about that?
I got to pay for this treatment out of my wages and pension. Sometimes at the end of the month I'm almost broke, but I don't care. And I've said it, that if even necessary, if I got to break the law by going into the smuggling of tobacco or whatever to obtain money, to give my wife this treatment, because I'm convinced and I've seen that she's improving, I shall do so. At the moment I haven't got enough money, I shall find money in any other method. Since the health authority won't assist me financially, but my wife to me is very important. And what I'm looking for is that she recovers. If she doesn't recover completely, but at least she's more stable now than she was before.
Hello, I'm Christian Wright. As you've just seen, Pepe is having a hard time. He's unable to really cope with what's going on. He's a very strong individual, and I respect him tremendously. He's shown a huge sign of strength and love for his wife. Now, I find it a bit of a travesty, almost, because I've uncovered something disturbing, to say the least. I've got evidence that a certain individual closely associated with the GSD is being sponsored for hyperbaric treatment. Now, I'm not saying this individual doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying that what makes him more special than the countless other cases, such as Pepe and his wife, who has extreme Alzheimer's and has made a noticeable difference since the treatments began. And he's paying £140 a week out of his pension, out of his salary. He has issues with his prostate. He's not well. Yet he continues to strive forward, and as you've just heard from the sound clip that we played, he would do anything for her, which I think is a sign of true love. But that's not the point. I'm digressing. The point of the matter is, there is an individual being sponsored by Number 6 to have hyperbaric treatment. Now, I don't want to reveal their identity for the sake of this individual. Now, in the coming weeks, we are going to be following James Pratt's and looking at the hyperbaric treatment, also looking at individual cases, showing you just what a positive effect this is on our community and how it should get the sponsorship it deserves. Until then, I leave you with the thought of this individual getting sponsored and how Pepe struggles and countless others struggle, cannot afford the treatments in its entirety and go when they can. Just think, is this fair? Thank you.